I'm Phintius, owner and proprietor of the first edition. Look around. If I don't have it, maybe I can get it. May I interest you in some of my fine wares?
Nightfall, please. Ooh, somewhat expensive.
All right. That's just talk. Oh, that's great. Don't talk. I wish I could say that. Is that so? Oh, that's... Don't try to... What a great story. Oh, that's... Don't talk such rot. I like... Don't... I wish... Oh, it's not bad. Have a look around. You won't...
Was slightly cheaper now. I purchased Nightfall from Vinitas at the first edition bookshop in the Market District. I should read it to find out more about Garridan's tears.
I appreciate your business. I have friends visiting soon, so I told them to stay at the King and Queen Tavern. This is the only bookstore in the city. There's also Renoir's books in Coral, Machna's in Cheydinhall, and Southern Books in Leyawiin. Good.
Excerpt from Nightfall, Tales of Heroism and Chivalry, edited by Kirelian Ordrinis. The legend of Garridan Stavros, as told by Jaren Aethelweald, squire and friend. So it came to pass that on the first month before the harvest, nary a decent crop could be found in the drought-ridden fields of Vermantle Glens. 27 families, their bellies sunken and empty, turned to their lordship who had been so fair to them in the hard times before. Man ruled not with an iron gauntlet, but with the soft heart of silken kindness. My lord, Garridan Stavros, knight-errant of Vermantle Glens. I watched sadly as my lord Garridan looked out at the withered fields before him from his meagre stone keep, and cursed the luck that tainted the skies and stopped the rain from falling. The families in his charge would not last the winter, which was always bitter and cold in the northern reaches of the Gerals. His own supply of grain was already picked clean. There was barely enough to sustain him for the months ahead. I know if my lord had the food there, he would have shared it gladly, allowing his charges to pay him back in whatever time or manner they could afford, and in some cases, to those in dire need, give it to them without costs. Something had to be done, and it had to be done soon. Sparing not a drake, Garridan paid for the best sages he could find and used the rest to buy as much surplus grain as he could wrest from the neighboring domains. A month passed and nothing surfaced. Winter's icy tendrils would soon creep across Vermantle Glens, causing the green to disappear from the landscape. Families would have to huddle close to their hearths, keeping warm and rationing the bits of food Garridan had given them. I could see Garridan's patience, which was immense, mind you, wearing thin. He told me he'd consider selling his keep, his belongings, anything to keep his people alive. If only the harvest would yield more, they'd be saved. Then, as if Mara herself had answered his prayers, a sage entered Garridan's keep with the answer. Legend told of a vessel of sorts from which water would pour endlessly, known as the Everflow Ewer. Some said the divines themselves created it, others thought perhaps a powerful sorcerer enchanted it. Wherever it was from, Garridan knew this could be his chance. Following the directions from the sage, my lord and I set out to recover the Ewer and rid Vermantle Glens of the drought. It took days to reach the entrance to the place. After we passed through the winding passage, we finally came to an odd door covered in mystical symbols. As the sage instructed, my lord touched some refined frost souls to the door. The ancient stone door opened and we proceeded into the glade. A cave cut into a hillside led into a small glade of trees. In the center of the glade, flanked by two standing stones, was a stone altar. On the altar, seemingly glowing with inner light, was the ewer. Cut from crystal, the vessel was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Water filled it to the very top, and as legends held, would never diminish as the liquid decanted from it. Eager to return to his domain, Garridan grasped the ewer in hand. Suddenly, the ground trembled as though the mountains themselves were angered. The sky changed from sunlit blue to dreary grey. Even the ring of trees forming the glade seemed to bend away slightly from the altar, as if fearing what was to come. Then, with no warning, one of the standing stones cracked and exploded. My gaze froze and my heart fell as I looked upon the guardian of the glade, a huge creature seemingly cut from the very same crystal as the ewer, stepped forth and growled menacingly at my master. The air around it became very cold, as if it was born from the glaciers of the northern mountains. This was a being of ice, living, breathing ice. Garridan shouted at me to run as he drew his blade. Still clutching the ewer in one hand, he gave a mighty swing at the ice creature. When the forged steel struck home, it seemed to it gave a resounding ring and merely chipped the beast as a spike would when driven against the hardest of rocks. Never showing fear, my lord swung again and again, each blow being harmlessly deflected away. Then, a single and mighty blow from the ice creature knocked my lord down. His blade slid away, and he lay on the forest floor looking up into the crystalline eyes of his death. The ice creature raised its arm again for the fatal blow, and brought it down hard at Garridan's prone form. I don't know why he did it. Perhaps it was instinct, perhaps a moment's lapse in judgment, but my lord lifted the ever-flow ewer defensively as he got up to a kneeling position. The blow from the creature connected with the vessel, creating an ear-splitting crash. There was the sound of water splashing and a horrible cracking noise as the sundered pitcher sent waves of freezing water in all directions. Even as I watched, the liquid covered the ice creature and my poor master. They seemed suspended in place as if frozen solid. At the time, I didn't know how true my thoughts had become. As I watched in horror, they were encased in a tomb of pure ice. I could see Garridan's face as the ice overtook him, and I could swear he was crying. A few of his tears froze and fell to the ground at his feet like beautiful blue crystals. He knew he'd failed his mission. His people would starve, and he was responsible. Frost and ice covered everything in the glade now, the trees, the rocks, the soil, everything. It was then I became aware that the very air around me began to freeze. It was like a cold winter's night at first, and then it rapidly became worse. The cold was so bad it turned into a sort of frozen heat. It began to burn. My throat became tight and breathing became difficult. I began to lose feeling in my arms and legs, and my vision was beginning to blur. I had to escape this icy glade and tell Garridan's story. It was the least I could do for such a noble man. With every bit of strength I could muster, I ran from the frostfire and back through the cave. I barely escaped with my life. My journey back to the domain of Garridan was a sad one. My heart was heavy, my mind clouded with misery. He was a good man, the greatest I'd ever known. To die like that was no way for such an honorable knight to end his life. When I finally reached the outskirts of Farmantle Glen, the farmers were waiting for me. I was ready to tell them the sad news, but they raised a cheer of great joy. They told me that only a week ago a strange bluish glowing rain fell on the fields, and that the next day the crops began to grow as if there had never been a drought. A week ago was exactly when my master was frozen in that horrible glade, and his tears froze like blue raindrops frozen in time. I looked up at the heavens, and the twinkling light suddenly gave me a great comfort. I thanked Mara and headed home.
Day.
I should speak to Julian Fannis about this. Right, we need frost souls.
Ah, you must be the Arcane University's newest addition. Morning.
Anything else I can help with?
Refined frost souls.
Yes, I have them for sale. If you'd like to buy some, feel free. They're top quality. I refined them myself. May I interest you in some of my fun?
Hopefully one is enough. I've acquired refined frost souls from Julien. I should now make my way to Frostfire Glade.
I appreciate your business.
I think
If you
Julien
come
just
across any unusual ingredients in your travel,
has a 15 gold buy limit. That's why she's a good one to buy stuff from, but terrible to sell stuff to. Right, I can seem to teleport to some of these locations, even though I've never really visited them. Probably. Yeah, things like Deep Scorn Hollow. Right, we'll go to Moss Rock Cavern, move from there. Northeast. Or northeast. There's a Daedric altar here. Not sure whose it is. We're probably high enough of a level that we could start doing them. Daedric, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a good Daedric artifact out of it. But it could be level... Who is he? It could be a level scaled artifact, so I'm not sure if I want to do it at a level 8. Maybe if we're level 10 plus, that doesn't even matter. I don't want some level 5 crap out of it. At the same time, it doesn't really matter. Not really. The likelihood of me being basically stuck or using a Daedric artifact is pretty low anyway, no matter what it is. Most of them are not appropriate for my character. And some that are, even if they're useful for, let's say, 5 levels, they're very useful at that point. It's just natural that you switch equipment from time to time. I'm also pretty sure some of them are pretty much guaranteed to be certain items. Like in every game, they're always the same item. One, for example, always gives item the reusable soul gem. I don't recall the name of the item, but it's always the same. So it doesn't really matter at what level you're gonna do that. The reward is always going to be the same, and it's equally useful for characters of all levels. Frostfire Glade, so where exactly is it though? I mean, it's here, but where? Somewhere inside here should be a door that will only open with the frost souls. I've arrived at the entrance to Frostfire Glade. Like the book describes, the refined frost souls are in my hands. All I must do is open the seal by touching it. I've entered Frostfire Glade. The entire area seems filled with a swirling, freezing mist. The extreme cold in this place is unbearable without magical protection. Glade is true to its namesake. The frost burns as if it was fire. I should now carefully begin searching for Garridan's tears. Do I take damage or what? Doesn't look all that frosty to me at this point at least. Let's switch things a little bit. Assuming there are frost atronachs here, we could probably be better served by using a fire spell. Do we have good fire spells? I'm not sure I want to go into touch range. Yeah, I don't think we should actually switch anything. Because our best attack is the lightning touch anyway. And I think it's good as long as we don't use frost damage. With the added weaknesses, it should do a massive amount of damage even to a frost atronach. Right, that has to be the... Yeah, that looks a little bit more dangerous. Not seeing any frost atronachs though. Be a reaction if we go inside there. I mean, I'm sure it has a guardian of some sort. There's Frost Atronach. They're fairly sturdy. Frostfire Atronach Glade Warden. Yeah, going into close range with that one, that's somewhat of a dangerous gamble. And fire would have probably worked a lot better. Still, this is good enough. We could try the Headless Zombie. It's probably fairly resistant to cold damage. Although I'm not worried about that. He looks like he hits like a truck. That's the thing I'm much more worried. Hopefully he's the only one. Right, what exactly do we need to do here? That does not look good. What does a Garridan's deer look like? Right. I found one of Garridan's tears. I should continue searching as there may be more. Oh shit, there may be more. They're very hard to spot. But there's a limit how long we can stay here. There should be more. Quests will auto-complete when we get all of them. Maybe up there. I found the fifth and final one of Garridan's tears. I can now return to Sadrasa in Lewin for my hard-earned reward and perhaps a warm fire. Wait, not bad. Frost Atronach would be an expert level summoning spell, so one tier above what I can currently do. It's supposed to be a tough opponent at this point. I'm not too worried about the lightning not doing all that much damage to it. Still, using the weakness plus the 2 damage touches got it to fairly low health. If I would have used fire attacks, it probably would have died. Or, well, at least got an even at a lower health. So I'm more or less pleased with what I'm seeing. If it was of an equal tier opponent as what I can currently summon, then I would have been very disappointed. More or less we can engage targets 1 tier above our current level thanks to these. Same level target should be easy to take down.
You look like you've seen some travel.
Garridan's tears.
You found 5 of the tears? Fantastic. This turned out better than I expected. Perhaps a little bit of a bonus is in order.
800 gold. Disappointing.
They're the pride of my collection. I am the best alchemist in Leowin. But if you need advanced training, you'll need Broch Kalos in Bruma or Ardalim in Bravil. All of the local guild halls sell some amount of alchemic ingredients, but for the best stuff, you'll need to do some exploring on your own. Not only has Necra... The tears...
Right, not sure what we should go after next. Borland Watchman, maybe. That sounded interesting. Yeah, Sindarian also sent us to some location to gather Nirnroot, but that's just likely to bring up a few Nirnroot examples. That's not gonna be all that interesting.
Look beautiful in...
This is a different matter. There's a ghost that has been seen regularly for a long time. Bone Watch Camp. Probably the easiest to just swim there. We could try water walking, I suppose. Sea striding, totally different thing. We're losing 4 seconds from the duration because of the equipment we're wearing. Right, pretty much it's a straight line there and we'll arrive when where we need to be. I'm sure there's a mud crab somewhere a bit under the vegetation here. Borland Watch something. Is there time mentioned? At night. It is said he walks slowly along the coast and then looks mournfully out into the bay until the sun rises. Okay. So no exact time, but doesn't really matter. We can just pass time 1 hour at a time until he appears. What is that? Ah, it's the strange door. It looked a little bit unnatural. The ghostly figure of the Borland Watchman has appeared on the shore of Niben Bay. Perhaps I should watch him for a bit and see what he does. Can I talk to it? I'm assuming he's going to lead me to his corpse or something along those lines. Okay, how long of a trip is he going to make? I wasn't expecting a long trek in the wilderness. An imp. Forge irony. I'm going to explore that too. Otherwise I'll just forget about it again.
I was once the man known as Grantham Blakely. Look for me in the mouth of the panther. Please, release me.
Panther River. So guess we're gonna go there and search. Mouth of the Panther. River mouth. But where exactly is he there? Okay, let's go to the river mouth first and see if there's anything obvious there. There is a site. It's a shipwreck. Mouth of the Panther. Right. It's a literal site. I've arrived at the mouth of the Panther. Beyond the tooth-like rocks is the remains of a small cargo ship named Emma May that looks like it sank a long time ago. I should investigate this wreck. We're talking about spirits though, and this time I'm switching to fire damage. In the wreck of Emma May, a spirit attacked me. The vessel seems completely infested with them. I suspect them to be the remains of the Emma May's crew. Why this happened to them puzzles me. I should press forward and investigate further. Well, it's a good source of ectoplasm. And if they come at us like this one at a time, it's not a problem. I'm still pretty sure a zombie could have handled things better. Log of Emma May. After taking aboard a few more crates in Leeuwin, Captain Lachton pointed the May north towards the Imperial City. We pleaded with him to wait until the next morn, but he insisted on continuing despite the look of the sky. Let it be known that this decision was his. It wasn't long before the May hit the storm. It was just as we suspected, far too dangerous to sail through. With the last bit of daylight disappearing, Navigator Quillen spotted an inlet off the starboard bow. The captain ordered the wheelman to steer towards the inlet in the hopes of getting the May out of Niven Bay. It was at that moment Gable gave me the signal and we struck. It always had an eye for the captain's position, and with the chaos going on, this was a better time than any. Only that idiot Blakely was still loyal to the captain, but the rest of us wanted the May. The fight lasted maybe a minute or two. Blakely and Lafton knew that fighting was futile. We tossed them down below, and now Captain Gable has set the May on course for the inlet. Hopefully we can get her secure for a while, and then I probably should take it though. A mutiny. Okay, let's try weakening him first. Single touch kills him after weakening. It took 3 to 4 shots without it. It's more important when the enemy does a lot of damage to minimize the time you are in the danger zone. So against the ghost it's probably irrelevant. But the ghost is the weakest form of spirit. Everything else is gonna be worse. And down below is where we need to go, so I wonder what's up. Captain's cabin. I missed. That's wonderful. Let's see how Zombie handles this. Three hits. Right, it's either weaken and kill or use a zombie. Just trying to spam a damage spell without anything else is the worst possible way to fight. I think a zombie is, generally speaking, a good option here because it doesn't give a shit about the cold damage. And ghosts move very, very slowly, so they can't really evade the zombie attacks. Might be a good opportunity to develop our melee combat skills, though. They're fairly harmless. And silver weapons to work. Oh, this could be bad. Gable the Traitor. I found a key in the remains of Gable the Traitor named in the MMA's log. I should search the MMA for a lock to match. I have no idea what type of abilities this type of ghost has. It's not gonna just spam shitty cold attacks though. They will get worse, a lot worse. So, another reason to use powerful attacks to quickly put an end to fight like this. I found the skeleton chained to the wall in the lowest deck of MMA. I believe these to be the remains of Grantham Blakely. I should use the key I found to unlock his shackles.
I knew one day someone with unyielding virtue would heed my words and speed my release. You risk much to perform such a selfless act. This noble deed will not go unrewarded. Look upon the ground in this prison. There you will find a map to my gratitude. I thank you with all my heart. Farewell.
A little bit further between two large stones at a bend. Easy enough to follow. I now have Grantham's map in my possession. With it, I should be able to find the location of his very highly super valuable treasure, no doubt. That totally isn't a worthless piece of crap. Totally. Surely it isn't. Just lowering my expectations in advance so I'm not too disappointed by what we get. I can probably see it if I look at the map. Yeah. Sort of disappointing. What's the point of throwing me a goddamn map if you're basically marking it with a huge "hello, here it is" sign? Right, we don't have to look at that map though. We're currently here, so we're currently there. So we need to go across the river twice. A bandit? Ah, it's a bandit.
Pay up, or
Below me.
easily done. This is the
Right. Oh shit. Now we should look for two large stones at the opposite sides of the river. Between them, at the bottom of the river, should be our treasure. That could be one of them, that could be the other. There's at least large stones here, large stones there. The location is more or less here anyway. I think we're here. So you need to go up there. There's a bend in the river and that'll be it. There are no large rocks here anymore. If I look at the map, it'll reveal the exact pinpoint location immediately. I want to do that. It's sort of hard to get a feel for the place when you can't look at the map at all. This is one large rock at least. Yeah, there's sort of a edge there. Not quite sure what it refers to, really. There is no... I feel like this is further in already. Some floating mushrooms. It's not that, that's too early. This is probably this location, so... It's really hard to tell what sort of rock they're referring to here. Also, what the hell happened to my summoned creature? I think we're here now. Can't be really anything else. There aren't that many places here. So I would go south now at the end of this. And then go north after the bend. It should be, that's where it should be. That has to be the mouth of the panther. Not at the south edge of a bend, it's at the northern edge. I don't understand what are supposed to be the rocks it's referring to. I just don't see any of that anywhere. And this is the river is splitting in 3 directions. I don't see anything like this on the map. the hell happened to the zombie? God damn it. Right, it should be at the north and then, yeah, that looks like a big rock. Right, so that location was a bit misleading. I think this is a much more likely location to it. That's the edge, right? Right, so that area where there's a pier already. Yeah, this fits fairly well. Grantham's map has led me to a treasure chest concealed among some rocks. This must be where Grantham hid his belongings while he was at sea. He has passed this on to me now as a reward for helping free his spirit. Longsword of Sparks, that's not particularly good, but it's fine. A couple of jewelry items that are low value. Hetty sold them, no soul in it, and some treasure. It's not worth much. But at least it had something. Right. It's a wrap. I think I'm going with the seeking your roots. This shouldn't be anything specific at this moment. Shade Leaf Copse was where it directed us. It was when you had below 10 Nirnroot. Then it was actual quest marker there. Now it's gone. So I'd like to visit it now. Right, it's fairly close to Skingrad. I doubt the cave itself has anything really interesting. It should have subterranean Nirnroot, more or less. That's it. We're gonna let the headless zombie do most of the fighting here. Just want to run and jump through it, get the Nirnroot, get the hell out, leave things at that. We'll have to go to our stronghold to do a alchemy ingredient trap. There's a big danger in having 0 stamina though. If we get hit by a decent physical attack at this point, we'll be forced prone. Nothing much I can do about it. Ah, it's not even a cave, it's just a pond. Well, all the better in a sense. Allows us to wrap things up much faster. Three miserable Nirnroot. Yay. Right, not sure what we should do now. It wouldn't be a horrible idea to do thievery things either. But not yet. How far are we from a level up? 50% there, so a lot of way to go. I think we're gonna go with alchemy training, a lot of conjuration use. That'll give us a magicka boost on the level up. We'll also train speed, I guess. Might buy athletics training. Athletics very useful. More importantly, it is a gigantic pain in the ass to actually train by playing the game. Alchemy would give us the funds to train it, buy the training.
I'm only asking for a single
Take all. We don't want to use all the ingredients, we just want to enough at least get to the level 50. Probably should use a lot of food items away if we can. They should get us there. Not quite. Resist disease. I want stuff that I can easily just sell away. Wait, what exactly is our alchemy skill? Yeah, 49, so one more. Resist poison, resist paralysis. You can automatically identify first 3 effects, so this should be a game changer for a lot of ingredients. Not that we're gonna use it now. Light, 45, damage, resist paralysis, fire shields, damage attributes, 45 magicka. 45 magicka potion might be very useful. Because you could use that on top of the 45 magicka spell to get a huge buffer. It would allow us to burst a lot of damage on a target. A lot of fortification abilities have been coming in. Also, easier time to create restore health potions. Reflect damage, that's the first one. So some more powerful abilities. A lot of new restore health effects. Cure paralysis, elemental shields, silence, dispel. Those would be good in poisons. Basically neutralize a spellcaster with a first arrow. Chameleon effects. More feather effects. Feather effects from different sources should stack too, so making a few feather potions would make sense. Right, nothing too amazing ability-wise, but much more options in actually how to combine things. I truly wish there was a faster way to put all this crap back in the storage, but I don't think there is. You'd have to use benefits from an inventory management mod somehow. Even my current mod, my user interface mod, might allow it. I haven't checked the settings too closely. Because there's no real way to just quickly store all of them. It always goes to the confirmation window. Ooh. I'll have to check the documentation on the game. You just need I hold down a button and click, so it would automatically move this ingredient to the storage. That's all that's really required. The unnecessary confirmation windows are pissing me off. There's not really a good way to bypass the confirmation either. There's no enter key or anything I can use that would automatically press the OK. I have to use the mouse to do it. So maybe I'm just too unfamiliar with this particular user interface. I want to check that. Currently we've had to do this so infrequently, it's not too big of a deal. But if I had to do more alchemy, it would save a lot of time if I could know how to do that. Still. More or less a good result. There are plenty of potions we can sell to gain cash. Plenty of potions we need to sell, they weigh a ton. It's not gonna be all that valuable, we can probably go above 2000, but that's it. Either way, we'll end things here.